So what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the latest and greatest here in sneakers. Now for today's show, we're talking Foot Locker and Nike and discussing why Foot Locker, after revealing their quarterly financials, has actually had a negative impact as Nike stock has fallen. Plus, we have a very unfortunate update as some sad news has hit YEEZY. Plus, we got a new AE2 leak which has hit the net. We're going to be discussing people's first impressions on these, and will Adidas actually respond to this sample just like they did previous. Stay tuned. We got all that plus more, but to begin, let's go ahead and start with a couple of quick updates. First and foremost, as far as Nike's premier launch of the day, that would have to definitely go to this Alexis Sablon pack. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that name correctly. She is a veteran professional skater signed to Converse, so they went ahead and paired up her signature model, the AS1, with these SB Dunk Low chameleons with a pack said to be limited to just 500. So this is a very cool item for collectors. Now, if you did miss out on the pack, Nike also did drop each pair simultaneously shortly afterwards. So we have the Converse AS1, which comes in at $100, and then you have the SB Dunk Low Chameleon, which retails at $135. Now, I don't know if my math is adding up wrong, but as far as them charging $250 for the pack, I'm assuming that the extra dollars must have went into the packaging or something like that. But as far as these SB Dunk Lows, these happen to be one of these quick strike releases. As far as the chameleon details, you got some real cool features which go down to the chameleon skin, which peels back to reveal like a pinkish color or something like that. These also include the extra pair of laces and everything like that. And it seems like SB fans are really rocking with these joints. So I feel like, as far as from Nike, great marketing move, as Alexis, she happens to be a Converse athlete, which is under the Nike umbrella. So cool way to kind of bring the best of both worlds together, and a move that I would like to see Nike do a little bit more of here in the future. Now, from Supreme, I didn't actually know these joints were dropping this week, but we had the Air Force One mid release today, which did hit Supreme, sold out as expected. You had the black or white option available, and after Supreme dropping the Air Force One lows over the last couple of years, was it a genius move for them to go ahead and release these joints in mid-top form? I would say not genius, but probably definitely expected. And with the success here of the mids, I'm assuming that they're going to probably follow this up with the highs coming up next. So these joints did retail at $135. And as far as the impact of the Supreme Air Force One, I would say the kids look at these as like an upgrade over your standard pair of Air Force Ones, maybe like a designer Air Force One. And then from the Los Angeles archive, looks like they are teasing a new drop which will be going down today. So they teased this via their Instagram stories yesterday. So the drop will be 12 PST, 3 p.m. Eastern. And as far as these releases, they've been doing these kind of like limited drops throughout the week. As far as what they tease for today's drop, it looks like it's going to be that Yay 2020 campaign merch, which included hoodies. We also had the 2020 Perfect hoodie, the big double layer purple joint, t-shirts. They also included hats with that merch. So I'm not sure exactly what to expect as far as today's Los Angeles archive drop, but I feel like anything that dropped from that original collection is fair game. And as far as pricing, that's going to be interesting as well, because as so far, all of these Los Angeles archive drops have been well below the original suggested retail price. So be on the lookout for that. Again, 3 p.m. Eastern. And with those quick updates out of the way, let's go ahead and get into today's main story, starting off with Nike and Foot Locker, two entities which kind of have like a love and hate relationship. Which on one side of things, you have Foot Locker, who has always relied on Nike products to fill up their store shelves. On the other hand, you have Nike, which over the last few years or so, they've been pushing a more direct-to-consumer business, meaning selling less products in retail stores such as Foot Locker, and doing more launches directly to consumer through their apps, such as the sneakers app, and storefronts such as their mainline Nike stores. So we've seen this move kind of come back to bite Nike in the butt, which is why they've been trying to mend some of these retail partnerships, such as Foot Locker, who just dropped their quarterly financials, which actually their numbers are coming in very good. It looks like year to date their revenue has actually risen, coming in at just under $2 billion. So not too bad. Now, on the other side of things, this actually had a negative effect on Nike stock, which according to Yahoo Finance, Nike stock posted another day of stock decline due to information contained in Foot Locker's second quarter report and conference call. So it seems like the negative information that was contained was that, of course, Foot Locker, they did mention that they have these good revenue coming in, but they also did mention that they do have plans to significantly reduce store counts in some Asian and European markets. And of course, we know Nike is definitely king here in the States, but they are definitely lacking in the Asian market. So it seems like, as far as Nike and Foot Locker's relationship, while Nike seems to be trying to mend things, it seems like Foot Locker is kind of moving into a different direction, as they actually boasted during their report that 40% of their sales actually come from non-Nike branded products, a move that they've been trying to push a little bit more towards. We've also seen them with reducing some of these stores, revamping these stores that they already have, giving like a better customer friendly experience and everything like that. So it seems like Foot Locker, which last year, you know, people were forecasting that they were on the decline, but it seems like based off of these numbers, they've actually impressed analysts, and it seems like they are on the way up. So as far as Nike stock dropping, not a good look. And it seems like what's going on right now is they're trying to, you know, get back in good graces with Foot Locker. But Foot Locker, they've been doing great, you know, selling more non-branded Nike products, such as stuff like New Balance, more Adidas stuff. So it seems like they're trying to get a little bit more away from Nike. So we'll see how this whole situation plays out. Stay tuned for more updates. Now, this next story is actually some very sad news that unfortunately I do have to report on. So I want to begin things with this image here of this sketch, which actually was shared via Instagram recently by streetwear veteran Paul Middleman. So it reads, Kanye's drawing for the 750. The actual shoe looks pretty much like the drawing, with all the stories around the legacy that he created. This was pretty much the beginning. In all reality, most of the brand wanted nothing to do with any of it. A small team galvanized around the project. The rest is wild history. Of course, when these dropped, a lot of high fives by the people that wanted nothing to do with it. Of course, this is all just from my perspective. So here we have the original sketch of the YEEZY 750 from the mind of Ye, of course, which once he teamed up with Adidas, they got him together a great team of designers to create this. We then had another hit in the 350. With those successful hits under his belt, Ye then took to veteran designer Steven Smith to then unleash the next wave of new YEEZY releases. Now, of course, if you guys are unfamiliar with Steven Smith, he's an OG in the footwear game. After getting his start fresh out of college at New Balance, he's pretty much worked for every major sneaker brand, from Nike to Reebok to Adidas, dropping several classics such as the New Balance 550, the Reebok Insta Pump Fury, plus more. So Ye and Steven Smith went on to create classics such as the YEEZY 700 Wave Runner, the Foam Runners, plus even recently, I believe Steven Smith even contributed to the YEEZY pods as well. So it's very sad to see that it's been reported, actually originally by Fast Company, that it looks like Steven Smith has been let go from the YEEZY team. So I can say that this is very unfortunate and something that I didn't see coming from a mile away. Now, as far as Steven Smith, he said, quote, "I'm in a very happy place with it all. I will certainly be a priceless asset to whoever works with next. It's all his loss and the result of his foolishness." So this is very sad to see, especially because, quote, when Steven Smith actually, before he was hired by YEEZY, he was, quote, in a dark place, and he said that Ye kind of pulled him into the light. So it's really sad to see how this whole situation played out and everything like that. And as far as YEEZY taking its next leap into independency, I would say they've definitely lost an asset here in Steven Smith. So we'll see what the future holds for YEEZY, but this is definitely not a good look in my opinion. But as we've seen Ye fall out with people in the past only to rekindle that relationship in the future, I would hope that all bridges aren't burned, and maybe we'll see these two reconnect here in the future. So we wish the best. Nothing for Steven, nothing but the best for Steven, and of course nothing but the best for the future success of independent YEEZY. And lastly, we're taking things over to Adidas, as apparently a new AE2 sample has surfaced. Now, if you guys recall, previously there was another AE2 sample floating around, a pair which I was kind of optimistic about. I thought they were taking things kind of into a cool new direction, but it seems like the majority of people weren't really feeling them. A lot of negative feedback, so much that an Adidas rep actually had to respond saying they were not the AE2, and it seems like Adidas kind of took things back to the drawing board, and it looks like this right here is apparently what they're cooking up, which if these are the AE2, I'm gonna say I'm not really feeling the direction that they're going in, because to me, it seems like they're trying to just give us another AE1. And these joints even look even more like a Yeezy Quantum, in my opinion, all the way down to the toe box, which kind of reminds me of the Yeezy Wave Runner, which I believe went on to inspire the Quantum. Let me just show you guys what I mean. See what I'm saying? Similar design language. So I feel like they're just trying to create another AE1 right here with these. And I don't know what's going on with this like plastic like material. Joints are kind of reminding me of like those invisible Air Force Ones or all the knockoffs that we used to see in the flea market back in the day. So it seems like, as far as that original AE2 sample that we saw, Adidas wasn't really too happy about the negative consumer feedback. They went back to the drawing board, and it seems like this right here is what they're cooking up. So I don't know what we got going on right here, but it seems like Adidas was kind of scared to push things into another direction, and they're just trying to replicate pretty much the same design language that we saw with the original AE1. So let me know what you guys think about these joints right here. We know Adidas had a smash hit with the original Anthony Edwards. Many people said best basketball sneaker, most definitely best new design basketball sneaker. So I think they were kind of worried. A lot was riding on the AE2, especially after Yeezy's departure. We know a lot of it's riding on the success of Adidas basketball right now, and we know originally the AE2 was set to actually debut later on at the end of this year, but it seems like Adidas plans kind of changed. They pushed things back. They're now dropping the AE1 lows. We even know that potentially we could see more AE1 mid colorways, as it looks like they look to prolong the life of the AE1, and who knows when we will see the AE2. But I'm very curious to know what you guys think about these samples right here so far. I mean, initially, not feeling them too much, but again, let's just be optimistic, as this could be a very early sample, and the final design could look completely different from what we see pictured right here. But of course, I would love to know what you guys think. Before we bounce, we're gonna go ahead and get into today's poll of the day with YouTube. I don't know why you guys are hating, but it seems like they're kind of blocking the reach of my channels, not getting out to the normal audience. As far as today's poll of the day, normally we see like over 2,000 plus votes, but it seems like for this poll we only had about roughly 400 participants. So YouTube, man, stop blocking my content. So I asked you guys simply, what would your grade be for Adidas here in 2024? I asked you guys to grade Nike in the past, New Balance, and very curious to know what you guys think about Adidas, because of course we had the whole Yeezy debacle, how they've been handling that. They've had some hits with Adidas basketball, which we just talked about, as well as their classics have seen a resurgence. Models such as the Samba, Gazelle, Superstar, SL72, you name it. So out of 400 votes, it seems like the majority of you guys gave Adidas a B letter grade with 30% of the vote. Second place, we had C with 29%, and 27% of you guys gave a D, with only 70%, the minority of the audience, giving Adidas an A rating. So I think Adidas, as we mentioned, great job of kind of handling the fallout of what happened after Yeezy. Their new CEO did a great job of actually selling off the remaining inventory, and then with these last remaining pairs which aren't selling too much, go ahead and discounting them, blessing people with sales up to 70% off. Although, you know, they have had many issues with like delayed orders, shipping issues, pairs being canceled, you know, all that good stuff. No refunds, no cancellations. So kind of hit or miss with that. But as far as everything else that they're doing, Samba's a hit, and they got a lot of future potential with Adidas basketball. So I think B was warranted, and they would have made some better moves that could have pushed them into the A category. But it seems like you guys are definitely rocking with the moves that Adidas are making outside of the whole Yeezy situation and everything like that, of course. So thank you to everybody that participated in the poll. You guys can always find that on the community tab here for this channel. So of course, we're gonna wrap things up. Salute to everybody that made it all the way through the end of the video. Make sure you guys go ahead and drop a salute in the comment section down below. And if you would like to support an independent creator, please go ahead and tap in on the like button, which you can find right under this video. So I'm JA. We're gonna wrap it up. I will catch you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'm out, y'all. Love.